some of you know this story. I've been studying Shinran thought for, well, Shinran in particular, since about 1983, I guess is when I first studied that. Okay. And my work as a Catholic theologian has been to how can Catholics learn more about Buddhism, especially in my case, more about Shinran, in a way that benefits our Catholic faith. Okay? I work with a community of Mexican Catholics up in Sonoma County. Okay? And I have to say, generally speaking, Mexican Catholics don't know anything about Buddhism. But I think they're interested about Buddhism. So I told Rodriguez that when I would come down here, I would bring two of my Mexican friends down, and that we would share with you some ideas, some experiences of a great, very, very important Mexican Catholic devotion as part of our Mexican Catholic religion, a devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay. First, some ideas about interreligious dialogue. As I said, I've been studying Shinran's thought for, well, since 1983, so do the math, okay? I don't know if this is very good Japanese, okay, but here are a couple of questions. How can we learn from one another? I said this morning at the service, there are plenty of people doing terrible things every day in the name of religion. How can we bring people from different religious paths together in a way that is a benefit to the world, okay? So how can we learn from one another? How can we make a contribution to one another? In interreligious dialogue, the intention, at least from the Catholic Church, is not to convert, but how can we be of service to Buddhist people so that they live better Buddhist lives, okay? And the ultimate goal of interreligious dialogue, again, obviously not conversion, and not just kind of an academic discussion. The ultimate goal is solidarity. We want to build solidarity. We want to build social connections here in this neighborhood, so that this temple is connected with Catholic parishes. Okay? And that together we're stronger, right? So solidarity and friendship. It's increasingly important in the world today. Okay. With that, I want to tell you a story about Catholic devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe. And we begin with a story about one, La Conquista de México. Empezó en 1500. These big, fancy theological ideas. But if you really want to know what Catholicism is like, this would be better for us to talk about. The conquest of Mexico by Cortez begins, what, 1520? There's a military conquest. You guys, I can go into so much detail here. Anyway, the Spanish have taken over, okay? 1531, there is what's called in Catholicism, it's called an apparition, an appearance of what Catholics generally call the Blessed Virgin Mary. She is the mother of Jesus of Nazareth, but this is Mary. She's up there. She's big. Okay. So here's the story. Juan Diego is an Indian. He's an Indian. He's a convert to Roman Catholicism. He's passing by a little hill called Tepeyac. Okay, and there suddenly appears to him this beautiful lady, and she says, "Go into town. Go into what today we call Mexico City. Go into town. Talk to the bishop. Tell the bishop that I want him to build a church here, out here at Tepeyac." So Juan Diego says, okay. So he goes in and knocks on the door of the Palacio Episcopal, the bishop's palace. Knocks on the door, and the servants look at him and said, "What do you want?" He said, I saw this. I have a message for the bishop. What do you want to say? Well, out at Tepeyac, I saw this beautiful lady, and she wants the bishop to build a church there. Stupid Indian. Go away, go away. So, yeah, okay, goes away. Then, the following day, the second apparition, he sees the beautiful lady. Once again, she says, go back and talk to him again. Juan Diego goes again, and there's this fight, okay, and servants turn away. Finally, there's a demand for a sign. The bishop finally says to the Indian, if this is true what you're saying, bring back some sort of an indication, a sign, okay? So finally then there's the last apparition. It's a little more complicated. Juan Bernardino, I'm not going to get, it's a little more complicated, but we got so much we want to cover here, okay? So, Juan Diego speaks with the beautiful lady for the last time, and Juan Diego says, the bishop wants a sign, he wants proof. And so the beautiful lady says, go up to the top of this hill, and there you'll find roses. And Juan Diego is thinking, this is impossible, this is December in Mexico City, no roses, okay? But he goes up to the top of the hill, and there are roses, okay? And brings them down. And the lady arranges the roses in his tilma. A tilma. You know the word poncho? Okay? For a raincoat? Okay? So a tilma is sort of like a poncho. Okay? Or a sarape. Okay? It's a cloth outer garment that you wear to guard against rain. Okay? So the lady wraps the roses up in Juan Diego's tilma, his sarape, okay? And then Juan Diego goes back one last time and fights with the servants one last time, and then goes in and sees the bishop for the final time, okay? And he said, I brought the sign from the lady, okay? And here they are. And he's so nervous that he fumbles, and all the roses spill out onto the floor. And nobody looks at the roses. They look at his tilma. Okay. This is Juan Diego. This is a very old picture of Juan Diego. Okay. And no one looks. You see the roses down there below. No one looks at the roses because the image of the beautiful lady has been printed on the tilma, the poncho. Okay. All right. Okay. And it's the image of the lady herself. Okay. There's another version of this. Okay. Básicamente ese es el cuento. It's more complicated than that, but okay. I love this story. I first heard this story in San Francisco. I was in a flat in the Mission District. This is back in the days when there were many Spanish-speaking people in the Mission District in San Francisco. And I'm at the back of the flat of the apartment there. This would have been on, say, like on 20th Street near Guerrero in San Francisco. Okay, and I'm back there with one of the old grandmas, one of las abuelitas. Okay, y está hablando con los nietos. It's a grandmother speaking to her grandchildren. Okay, and she's telling the story. Believe me, every grandmother tells the story a little bit differently. Okay, but that's not a problem. Don't worry about it. The point is that this image appears on the garment, outer garment of the Indian. Okay, and here's the image. You're looking at how many people? Has anyone ever seen this before? You've seen it before. Okay, you watch now. Now that you've seen it, you're going to start seeing it a lot more. Okay, and you say, "My God, it's right in front of my nose. It's all over the place." Okay. This is a facsimile of the image. Okay, and it's signed by the Cardinal Archbishop of Mexico City. I'm going to talk about the image in some detail here in a little bit, but this is the image. You see, it's what normally Catholics look at this and say, "Oh, this is the Blessed Virgin Mary. This is the mother of Jesus. Also, we call her the mother of God. And there's the rays of the sun, and she's standing on the moon. Yeah, and there's an angel holding her up there like that. Great, okay? You watch. There's a lot more going on. This is the image. This is a modern version of the image. Okay, you have to understand. This is Guadalupe is an inspiration. So you see modern art, you see plays, you poems and music, all kinds of things. Okay. This is a mural. I don't know. ¿Conoces este? No sé dónde es. En Mexico? Someplace in Mexico, okay? What I love about this is, here's Juan Diego. The roses are falling out of his tilma, okay? And you can't see the image of the tilma, okay? Look at, here is a Catholic priest, a Franciscan friar, okay? Here is someone from the Spanish army, one of the conquistadors, okay? Here's a Catholic nun, okay? And it's specific. She's a special kind, she's a mystic. She's a Carmelite nun, okay? So this is associating not only with the poverty, the Franciscans served the poor. The army was there to enforce the colonial regime. This is a Carmelite nun, this is mysticism, and they're all looking at Guadalupe, but look at, here is an Indian. He is enraptured by Guadalupe, okay? Look at this now. This is, of course, from back during the days of the Conquista, okay? The 1500s, okay? Here's modern Mexico, okay? And his family, there's another Carmelite nun, okay? Everybody, you see how this mixes time periods together? Okay, this is typical of devotion. Okay? This is the Archbishop of Mexico City at the time. He's the first Archbishop of Mexico, starting about the 1500s. Archbishop Zumarraga. Okay. This is an old painting. This is in Latin. I won't try to translate it, okay? But you see up there at the top there is the image, okay? He's the Archbishop at the top. So, I asked you before if you've seen this before, okay? She's everywhere. She's absolutely everywhere, okay? So, I'm going to prove my point here. This is the, we call it a basilica. This is the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, La Basílica de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, in Mexico City. It's a Tepeyac where this happened. When it happened in 1531, Tepeyac was outside of Mexico City. Now, Tepeyac is towards the center of Mexico City. The city is just, city's like Tokyo, okay? It's huge, okay? This is one of the original churches, okay? And no church is big enough for the amount of people that want to come. Mexican woman, and so is Our Lady of Guadalupe, another great Mexican woman, okay? And this would be in a home. Day of the Dead it's the day, 2 days after Halloween, November the 2nd, the Feast of All Souls, okay? This is where you remember it. It's like a bone, okay? More or less, okay? But remember, this is in the home, okay? I've got some more pictures I'm going to show you about that, okay? Not only is she in the home, but she's also a very public figure. Okay, this is a protest march by the United Farm Workers, Cesar Chavez, organizing the farm workers here in California, okay? And Cesar Chavez would not dream about, if we're going to have a march, we've got to start. I'll say it in Spanish, bajo el estandarte de Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. The march follows behind or beneath the standard, the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. There she is. Because she is the Libradora. When the revolution began in Mexico, here's how it began. Okay. First, Father Hidalgo, a priest, finished saying Mass. Then went to the corner there in the church, okay, and took the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe and walked outside the church and gathered the people outside and said, here, beneath the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, our liberation begins. So we call her Guadalupe Liberadora, Guadalupe the Liberator, okay? And so she is the mother that takes care of the people. And there she is, leading the protest march why? Because Guadalupe wants to take care of the farm workers as well. Here's another shot as well. Again, a protest of United Farm Workers, okay? This guy here, he was my classmate. Okay. So she's in politics, okay? She's, right in front of vending machines. She's on murals, protest murals. Look at this, isn't this beautiful? This is in El Paso, Texas. Okay, look at what a beautiful image. Look at the reflection of the mural in the mud puddles. Isn't that a beautiful shot? Okay. Okay. Notice then it says say excepta e debe food stamps. Okay. You find her in neighborhoods where you got people that don't have a lot of money, immigrant neighborhoods too. Okay, she's there. Notice you've got graffiti over here and up above, off to the side there. Here's a shadow. Okay, no graffiti on the image on of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Never, I promise you. Okay. This is Guadalupe as well. She's a skull. This is a part of the Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Okay. Beer sold here. Okay, and here's a guy walking around there like that. There's the rose. Okay. Here's the image of Christ. Okay, and here's the graffiti. So I know store owners down in Los Angeles. The side of their building is always getting spray painted with graffiti. Okay, so one of them said, Father, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go talk to the artists that live down the street. I'm going to have them paint an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and that'll solve the graffiti problem. Because no one will spray paint over the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Just a little, this is how business is done in the barrio. Okay. Once again, even spray painting on the face of Cesar Chavez, okay, but not the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay. I tell you, she's everywhere, and I think you Buddhists will like this very much. This is the ¿cuántos años tiene este edificio?
No estoy segura.
Probably 1960s.
Como los 70.
Yeah, okay. And the image is located in this building here, this church building. Okay. And there it is. That's in Mexico City today. That photograph didn't come out too well. Okay. That's the Tilma of Juan gave us today. Okay. This is a holy card. So for the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, which is December the 12th, you can have if you come up to St. Leo's, everybody come up to Sonoma, December the 12th. It's the evening of December the 11th. Okay. We will have a mariachi. Last year we had a mariachi, 10-piece mariachi. Okay. We'll teach you how to sing in Spanish, and then afterwards we'll have the Mexican bitter chocolate with pan dulce, which is to say breads like donuts basically, but it's special. It's special in Mexico. Okay. With the cinnamon sticks. Okay. And all the kids running around, and the mariachi, 10 pieces of the mariachi. It's fabulous. Okay, so this would be a holy card. Okay, once again, it's the image, but the image is all over the place. Look at this. The original is down in Mexico City. Okay, but this is somebody's fence. Okay, and it's painted on the fence. Okay, but look at this. People come and bring flowers and put them. Okay, so it's painted on the fence, and you can see there's the window up the upper left-hand corner. Okay. But then people just come by and bring flowers because it's Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. Okay. Now, everybody, this should not be hard for Japanese people, at least, to understand, because when you go in Japan, walk around Kyoto or even Tokyo, even secular Tokyo, and you find these little little corners, you know, you walk around the corner in Tokyo, and then here's this little shrine to Jizo or Kannon Bosatsu or Amida. I just want to say, if you were to go to Japan, you'd see, you know, just as you see the little shrines for Our Lady of Guadalupe, you see the same thing, but for Buddhist, for Amida Buddha, or for the historical Buddha, or Kannon Bosatsu is the Buddha of compassion. I'm not saying it's the same, I'm just saying the psychology of devotion is universal. Okay? Okay? This would be another one. I'm sure you guys know about this, but I'm telling our partner, okay? Okay, you said, oh yeah, wait, yeah, I get that. I understand that completely, okay? Look at this. This is an American city. This is the back of a truck. I don't know if you can see this very well. Here's the truck, okay? And I'm guessing it's December the 12th. And there are the roses, okay? Okay, and don't worry, that guy there, that's Juan Diego, and behind them both is an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, okay, with the Mexican flag and the American flag, okay? Notice this theme. If you really want to be an American, be Mexican. And why do I say that? I say it because of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay? She's special for Mexico, but you know what? She's for Americans too. Okay? I tease it up in Sonoma. I say, yeah, I'm not a Mexican, but she's my mother too. Got that? Okay. Okay. She's everywhere. She's on the business. Okay. And you can find it here in the Bay Area. Go down to LA. Go down to Mexico. You know, you got. I don't want to scandalize you. Anyway, but for those that come from a Japanese heritage, look at this. You get this, don't you? Okay. This is the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Probably it's December the 11th or 12th, okay? And there are the roses, and she's being carried in procession. Okay? And for those of you that don't come from Japan, this is what goes on in Japan. Okay? What do you call this in Japan? It's Matsuri, but what do you call it?
Mikoshi.
Mikoshi, thank you very much. This is called Mikoshi, okay? And inside this would be, sometimes it's a Shinto god, or it's a statue of the Buddha. Buddhists do this too, right? Or is it only Shinto?
I think some of them, but usually in the Shinto.
Okay. And everybody has a great time. I have a picture when my father lived in Japan, okay? It was the neighborhood fiesta. I'm going to talk Mexican here. It's the fiesta, okay? Komatsuri, okay? Okay, and everyone's having a great time, and my father has got on that, it's called the happy coat, okay? Okay? And he is bien borracho. My father was drinking a lot of beer that day, okay? Okay, look at this one. This is a pillow. I told you, she's everywhere, okay? Everywhere, right? Pillows, okay? Look at this one here. When Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State, she went to Mexico, and in Mexico, when she was in Mexico City, she made sure she paid a visit to the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe, okay? And I'm told, she said, who painted this? And of course, the whole point is not painted; it's a miracle. Okay. And this is again, this is the actual image. Okay. And there are a million versions of it. This is Guadalupe as well. But in this case, now she's got the crown on her head. This is folk art. Okay. Okay. Also, these are doorbells for a building. And who's protecting the doorbells? But of course, Our Lady of Guadalupe is protecting the doorbells. Now, I'm born in the United States, and but I have to say, when I go to Mexico, I always feel, frankly, in some respects, I feel more at home in Mexico than I do here in the United States. I don't want to over-dramatize. I feel at home here in the United States, but I think in some respects I feel more at home in Mexico. Why? Because the symbols of the sacred, Catholic symbols, are all over the place. All over the place. Okay? And yes, you need someone to protect your doorbell because, you know, sometimes the bill collector comes and rings the doorbell, okay? So you want to make sure you've got Guadalupe looking out for you. This makes perfect sense for me. Okay? I have some very funny stories. Okay? This is on the street, okay? I told you she's everywhere. And remember what I said. Never seen her before. You watch. She's going to start appearing to you just like she appeared to Juan Diego. Okay, I'm here to tell you. Okay, okay. This is it's an altar for the Day of the Dead. Okay, well, yeah, don't you think? ¿Por qué de los muertos? Okay, okay. Aquí Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. Aquí Fredericks. Okay. You guys, I don't know if I can explain this to you. Do you know who Fredericks is? She's an artist. She's a great, great artist. She's Mexican. She was married to Diego Rivera, and her art now has gained a great deal of respect. Okay, so Fredericks is a great, okay, Los Angeles area. Okay, wonderful people there. Okay, this is a templo for Buddhists from Thailand. Okay, right? They do not know very much about Catholicism, although some of them, the monks, are old friends of mine. Okay, they know Noriaki Ito as well. Okay, and this is a very important for the neighborhood. There's a lot of people from Thailand that live in this neighborhood. Okay, and so look at the altar. Okay. This makes you, those of you that come from a Buddhist background, yeah, of course it makes sense. These are the begging bowls for the monks, okay? And here are offerings, right? And then we have statues, oranges, flowers, etc. Okay, fine. This makes sense. And if you come from Mexico, look how, you know, altars should be full of all kinds of things. When Mexican Catholics walk into a Protestant church, they say, where is everybody? Where are the saints? Where are the statues? Okay? Altars are supposed to be busy places. After our talk, we're going to go see the altar here in the temple. Okay? All right. Good. And I want you to know, so, and it's important for the neighborhood. All the people from Thailand come to this. It's like a community center. Okay? But I don't have a good picture of this. I will get one, I promise you. Okay. Right there. That is a little, it's a little enclosure, I guess you could say, that has a statue of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And this is in Wat Thai, the Thai temple. Okay? And I asked the monks, I said, where did you find it? What is this about? Our Lady of Guadalupe? And he said, yeah, the Mexican ladies would come in, and they would be, we'd ask them, and they said, we're looking for, they'd say in Spanish, no hay un santito, don't you have a little saint here for us? Okay? And the monk said, all right, we'll get one. What one should we get? Guadalupe. Okay, we'll get Guadalupe. So Mexican women now stop into on the temple grounds, and they say a little prayer for Guadalupe, and I'm sure that they turn to Shakyamuni Buddha as well. We say a little thank you to Buddha as well. This is good. This is very good. Very charming. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about the Tilma of Juan Diego. This I'm going to just you guys. I'm just giving you a taste here. There's a lot more to say. First of all, I want to talk about the tilma as a Christian symbol. So I said already that the image on ask anybody from Europe, ask Catholic people that don't know anything about Our Lady. Guadalupe, when they look at the image, they say, oh, it's the Blessed Virgin Mary. Yeah, Mary, and who's that? Well, in the Bible, she's the mother of Jesus, but also she's the mother, we call her the mother of God. It's the Blessed Virgin, okay? This is very important for Catholicism, okay? Don't worry about this, the Immaculate Conception, okay? But I also want to tell you about, in the very last book of the Bible, it's called the Book of the Apocalypse. In the 12th chapter, we find this. First of all, you have to understand the last book of the Bible is written in very strange poetic imagery. It's very hard to understand. And for centuries and centuries and centuries, people have been interpreting this book in strange ways. Okay. Anyway, here's an example. Okay. A great sign appeared in the sky: a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was with child, wailed aloud in pain as she labored to give birth. Then another sign appeared in the sky. It was a huge red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, and on its heads were 7 diadems, crowns. Okay? Its tail swept away 1/3 of the stars in the sky and hurled them down to earth. Then the dragon stood before the woman about to give birth, to devour her child when she gave birth. She gave birth to a son, a male child, destined to rule all the nations with an iron rod. Her child was caught up to God and his throne. Okay? Ya lo tengo en español para ustedes. And I just haven't had time to get it in Japanese yet. I'll get it in Japanese. This is what's called apocalyptic language. This is very symbolic language. What is this symbolizing? A woman clothed with a sign appeared in the heavens. A woman clothed by the sun with the moon beneath her feet. Okay? When I call it an apocalyptic symbol, it means that she represents the birth of a new era. Okay? And the birth of a new age that's coming. Okay, so she's clothed in the sun, she's spangled with stars, with the moon at her feet. So back in 1351, when the bishop and the Spanish Catholics looked at this, they said, yeah, we know, look at this, Blessed Virgin Mary, and it must be, this is an apocalyptic symbol. This is Mary symbolizing the mother who will give birth to a new age. A new era is coming. Okay? Alright. Okay. Fine. So that's this image as a European Catholic symbol. Okay? What about the Tilma, the image on the Tilma, for the Indians? Okay? So back in 1531, we're looking at this image, and I just showed it, I just looked at it with you as in terms of European Roman Catholicism. Well, what about the Indians of the time? Okay? And here I want to talk about the restoration of Tonantzin, the mother of the gods. Okay? So there is in the Indian culture, there was a mother goddess as well. If Catholics call Mary the mother of God, okay, it's a title that she has. Okay? The Indians spoke about Tonantzin. ¿Me entiendes? Tonantzin. ¿Conoces esta palabra? Yeah. Okay. This is Tonantzin. She is the mother of all the gods. Okay? When the Indians looked at this image, they said, look at this. It's Tonantzin. Tonantzin has returned. Okay? Now, let me give you the background here. Okay, so the language spoken by the Indians in Mexico, not just the Aztecs, but the other Indian groups, is called Nahuatl. And they came up with some... Can you imagine writing Huitzilopochtli and Quetzalcoatl, writing that in katakana? this would be a little challenge for us, okay? All right. Huitzilopochtli was the sun god, and he demanded human sacrifice. So since the Aztecs were the tribe that was running the show, the Aztecs would take prisoners from the other tribes and offer human sacrifice on the top of the pyramids in Mexico City. Okay? So here is a graphic. This was drawn by a Spaniard at the time. But see, at the top of the pyramid there is the priest, and he's plunging an obsidian knife into the chest of the one being sacrificed. Okay, so a lot of blood here. Okay, all right. And all of this is to appease the sun god. Now, everybody, let me go back here. Okay. The woman of the image is eclipsing the sun. Okay? And at the same time, when the Indians looked at the image, they thought of Quetzalcoatl. Okay? Quetzalcoatl is a god who is a feathered serpent. And very complex imagery. This is one of the images of Quetzalcoatl. Okay? A feathered serpent. A serpent swallowing its own tail is a symbol of eternity. Okay? This eternal passage of time. Right? And snakes, not just in ancient Mexico, but in other cultures as well, are symbolic of, what shall I say, of this eternal waxing and waning of time, okay, this eternal change. Because a snake can literally crawl out of its skin and be renewed. So the skin grows old, and then the snake will crawl out of the skin and be renewed, and then that skin will grow old, and the snake will crawl out of that skin and be renewed. Okay, and this is the symbol of eternal renewal. Also, let me say, Quetzalcoatl, this symbol of the eternal cycle of changes, okay, is associated with the moon. Let me say, in Buddhist teachings, ancient Buddhist teachings, once again, the idea of time is this eternal turning of cycles, okay, of eras, one after another, and repeating over and over again. This is very, very important in Buddhism, okay? So once again, let me bring you back to the image. She's standing on the moon, again, associated with Quetzalcoatl. From an Indian perspective, this woman is an emblem of the coming of a new era in which Huitzilopochtli, the violent god of the sun who demands human death, is being put aside. And carried by Quetzalcoatl, the serpent that brings about this eternal, constant change, okay, is a new era represented by this beautiful woman, okay, right? So everyone, if you stop and think about it, the Indians look upon this image as an apocalyptic symbol. One era is coming to an end, and a new era is beginning. Okay? And what did I say about the European Spanish Catholics? They look at this and they think of the woman in the book of the Apocalypse, who also represents the woman who is giving birth to a new era. Okay? So you've got the Spaniards thinking, whoa, the old world is dying and a new world is beginning. And the Indians looking at it and saying, the old world is dying and a new world is beginning. And you know what was happening? The old world was dying and a new world was beginning. Okay, so here, you guys, let me show you this. Guadalupe represents what we call in Spanish mestizaje. Now, this is a difficult word to translate into English. And I'm almost thinking it's almost impossible to translate this. I don't want to say that. It's very difficult to translate it into Japanese as well. Mestizaje. ¿Qué quiere decir mestizaje en inglés? Eso es algo difícil de decir. It's hard to say this. It means mixing together. It means, bear with me now for a minute, it means the state of having been mixed together. Mixingness. I know you're being very patient with me, right? Okay. Mestizaje. Okay, so let me say that I have a nephew. I'm going to show you his picture. And his father is from my side of the family. Okay, so, and we're Northern European, Irish and Danish. Okay, on one side. Okay, and my my nephew's the father. He's Irish and Danish. Okay, Northern European, let's say. Okay, the mother is from Laos. So the baby is what we would call in Mexico. The baby is a mestizo, part European and part, in this case, in Mexico, indigenous. Okay, okay, and Leticia are both mestizos because their ancestry goes back to the Indian cultures of ancient Mexico and the Spanish conquerors as well. They're mestizos. They are an example of mestizaje. Okay? So I used to live in Hawaii, all right? And in Hawaii, just about everybody is what you call hapa. Hapa means, well, my classmate there is Japanese Portuguese. Okay? So he's hapa. Okay? Or Hawaiian Chinese, very beautiful people, handsome men and beautiful women as well. Hawaiian Chinese, or how about Samoan Tongan, or how about European Hawaii? That's called Hapahawi. Okay. Okay. And I used to tell my students, the high school students, I used to tell them, I said, I'm Hapa as well. I said, Hapa? You're not Hapa. Hey, Bala, you don't stay Hapa. I'm Hapa. I said, yes, I'm Hapa. I am Danish and Irish. Oh, that's not Hapa, that's all Hawaii. I said, no, where I come from, that's Hapa. Okay? That's Hapa. Right? Mestizaje. Alright? This image we have, a communion of two civilizations. The Indians looked at it and said, whoa, Tonantzin. The Spaniards looked at it and said, whoa, the Blessed Virgin Mary. Okay? What about the Mexicans looking at it? The Mexicans looked at this image and said, whoa, the first Mexican, the first mestiza. Mestiza, the feminine of mestizo. Okay? This is the great image of mestizaje. Is this making sense? Okay. Once again, the Spaniards look, it's the Blessed Virgin Mary. Okay, and the Indians look except it's the Blessed Virgin Mary, but boy, that's telling us that times are changing. One era is dying and a new era is beginning. Okay, and the Indians look at it and say, it's the return of Tonantzin. She is kicked out. What's his name? Huitzilopochtli. Okay, the sun god. Okay. Finally, the power of the Aztecs is broken. The human sacrifice is going to end. And look at it. She's being carried by Quetzalcoatl. A new era is beginning. An old era is dying. And what was going on historically at this time was the intermarriage of Europeans and Indian people, indigenous people, and the creation of what today we call Mexico. It is the birth of Mexico. Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe is the first Mexican. Hang on a second here. Look into her face. Well, she's sort of European looking. But look again. She's sort of Indian looking. Or look again. She looks a little bit like Leticia. She's the first Mexican. One era is dying for the Europeans, as well as for the indigenous peoples. And a new era is beginning. And this is the era, sometimes we call this Octavio Paz, this great poet in Mexico. La raza cósmica, Octavio Paz, okay? La raza, the cosmic race. This is the beginning of, so the truth, says, Octavio Paz says, a real Mexican, he hates his Indian background, he hates the Spaniards, he hates the, yeah, okay? I only have one mother, and this is my one mother. You're looking at it right now, okay? La primera mexicana, the first Mexican, and the great image, the great symbol of mestizaje, okay? So let's go, okay? See, what this is, you know, you just to be clear, Guadalupe Tonancin, okay? All right, I want to tell you about retablos now, okay? This is the retablo. It's a little box, and here's got the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe, here are the roses, okay, and we've got music to the Virgin and various things, okay, it's nice, very, very nice. We got a harp up there, must be some Irishmen who did that, okay, the cross, etc., okay. And then you can close these doors when you're not praying, okay. So in the evening, it's the end of the day, you come, and, okay, and you get ready, and you say your evening prayers. You open the doors of the retablo, okay, and you say your prayers to the Virgin. Okay, it's practice, Buddhist practice, shugyo. Do you use that word? Do you use shugyo? Shugyo for practice? Gyo.
Yeah, but it's just it's not the shugyo.
Okay. Now, everybody, is this all this strange? You know, from the retablo de Japón. Okay, look at this, everybody. I know what this is. This is a retablo. I go to Japan. Okay, I say, oh yeah. It's a retablo, and not for the Our Lady of Guadalupe or another saint, okay? No, this is Kannon Bosatsu. Do you know how I know? Do you see the vase? Kannon Bosatsu is, can you see the vase? Right there. I think that's him holding the vase. Can you see that? Okay? So listen. I have to explain this for the Mexicans here. Kannon Bosatsu. He is the Buddha, or sometimes she is the Buddha of compassion. And very often, Kannon Bosatsu is holding a vase. And the vase is full of cariño. Okay? Guys, we all have to learn Spanish. Because you know, you can't translate cariño into English. It is full of cariño, okay? And when Kannon Bosatsu is the one who hears the cry of suffering that arises from the earth, and just like any good mother, pours out cariño onto her children who are suffering. Now look at it. This is not hard for Catholics to understand, is it? This is beautiful. This is a beautiful teaching, okay? And look at it. They even have retablos. Man, yeah, I have the Buddhists. They are very cool. I've got to say. Okay, so listen to this. You love this. Okay, so last November, I was in Taiwan for meetings with the Vatican officials and Buddhists in different parts of Asia. Okay, fine. Afterwards, I was staying at a Chinese Buddhist monastery in Taiwan. Old friends. And after the meeting, the Dharma master asked me to give a talk. Give a Dharma talk, okay, to the community. So I gave a speech on Our Lady of Guadalupe. I gave a presentation, okay, and one of the nuns afterwards, after my during the question says, "Does Guadalupe have a vase?" Tiene Guadalupe un vasito con cariño, okay. Okay, so does Guadalupe have a vase? Okay, and I said, no, she doesn't have a vase. she has a heart. She doesn't have a vase, but you know what? I'd love for someone to paint an image about Our Lady of Guadalupe holding a vase. Let's do that. Let's get someone to paint Guadalupe with a vase, okay? Because it's such. This is the beauty of Buddhism. Let's steal it. Okay. So here we are. Here is Guadalupe pronouncing. Okay. This is very familiar, isn't it? Okay. You can hang this on your wall. Okay. These are retablos. Okay. But this is now I'm going to tell you what are called ex votos. ¿Conoces esa palabra ex voto? Ex voto. You will. Okay. And I'm thinking the word ex voto is Latin, okay, and I pluralize it. And ex voto, one ex voto, two ex votos, okay? I don't know if this is the way you translate this or not. It means, in Latin, ex voto means for the sake of a vow. Okay? Alright? Here's what I mean. And now I'm going to need your help, okay? Look at this. This is painted by a Mexican fellow, or maybe a lady, okay? And you can see there's been an accident. Now, Leticia, ¿puedes leer eso? La señora Timote Vasquez. Okay, so Mrs. Vasquez suffered on the 6th of December un atropelamiento. ¿Puedes leer?
She got hit.
She got hit. Okay. She got hit. Go ahead, Leticia. Try to say.
And then she was saved thanks to the Virgin Lady of Guadalupe.
Yeah. Voila.
Yeah, but she was saved because of her.
Yeah. Okay. So she was.
She protected her.
Okay. So it could have been terrible, could have been a disaster, but there's Our Lady of Guadalupe looking out for her daughter. Guadalupe looks out after all Mexicans. She's for Mexico. She's for Mexico. But no solamente para los mexicanos, porque yo soy hijo de Guadalupe también. She's not just for Mexico. She's my mother too. This is an ex voto. Remember what I said? For the sake of the vow. As a result of this, I vow that I will devote myself to Our Lady of Guadalupe. And then painted this ex voto, okay? And it's hanging on a wall in a house, or sometimes they would bring it to the church especially, okay? As a testimony. This is, why am I not dead? How is it that I wasn't destroyed by the oncoming of this train? It's because mi madre, my mother, Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe, was protecting me, okay? Here's another one. I love these because they're so human. These are real human stories. Juan Peña and my buddy Delfino Hernandez, we give infinite thanks to the Virgin of Guadalupe por mandarnos nuestro alivio, for saving us again. For pulling us out of this mess, okay? De un fuerte chorro. ¿Qué me dice chorro?
Diarrhea? That's what it is.
They're drinking. They're drinking, okay? And he says,
yeah.
If we're protected from getting the runs, from being drunk, okay, I will devote myself to Our Lady of Guadalupe, okay? Okay? Pasarnos. El pinche diablo, okay? This is because the devil was after them, okay? After we become
I think what they mean is when they were going so drunk from wherever they were coming from, the demon appeared to them and they got such a scare that they got diarrhea. That's what they mean.
this one. Well, all right. A serpent surprised my horse. El barco y yo caí sobre unas rocas, and I fell off the horse onto rocks. Thanks be to the Virgin Maria of Guadalupe. You see the image up there, okay? Who saved me? This is by Pedro Rubio in the state of Morelos in Mexico, 1947. Okay. You know where I want to take this? Okay. Madre Mia de Guadalupe, my mother Guadalupe, with my whole heart, I dedicate this. This is Ricardo. I can't read it either. Okay. Anyway, yes, he had pneumonia. Pulmonio.
Oh, okay.
Que me dio. Anyway, he was really. His child was sick. Her child was sick. Okay, and she prays to Guadalupe. The child is healed, and she vows that she will dedicate herself to Our Lady Guadalupe hereafter. He takes care of the animals. St. Thomas Aquinas takes care of theologians like us too. So don't you worry about that.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Listen, I could come here and I can teach you Catholic theology, and I think it's interesting. I can make it interesting to you too. Okay. This is Catholic faith. This is what it looks like on ground. Okay? So, listen.
Well, we're saying that's nothing to do with what she was saying. We understand what she said. If we identify what she said. My question is directed to you. How does Jesus fit into all this? I understand the Lake of Guadalupe.
But you don't understand Jesus.
Because you haven't mentioned one. Not one time.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I talk about Jesus a lot, to be honest with you, okay? And I could, if you like, I can, not today, but I'd be happy to come back sometime and give you a whole talk about Jesus, maybe comparing Jesus to Amida, okay? His whole great understanding of the process of redemption or salvation. Okay? I'd be happy to do that. I just want to say, in Catholicism especially, in addition to the symbolism of Jesus, we have other symbols, okay? Especially in Mexico, Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. This is not competition for Jesus. No, this is Guadalupe ultimately expresses the same saving mystery that Jesus embodies. That's probably the closest I can come to answer your question right now.
Maybe to clarify, and I don't know how on George's question, but I think he was more just searching for, since we're not Christians, the differences in the, Jesus. There's certain, I understand Protestant, Episcopalian, Lutheran, they're all forms of Christianity and various symbols, and we're just mentioning one today, right? Isn't that the...
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to put some context around this.
So there'd be lots of Protestants that would be critical of Guadalupe. This is, some would even say that this is paganism. This isn't paganism. This is Catholicism. And in Catholicism, God touches us. God only touches us through Jesus. But having said that, Jesus touches us in many ways. So the image of Kannon Bosatsu with 1,000 arms, you know what I'm talking about? Okay? That symbolizes that Kannon Bosatsu can touch us this way. I can tell you, I know Buddhists in China, they would say, first of all, let me say, this is a Buddha that has 1,000 arms.
I see.
Okay, and it says that the point is that the Buddha can touch us this way or that way or this way or that way, or many different ways. And if we went, I can think of Dharma Master Xingdao in Taiwan would say, oh, Guadalupe. Guadalupe is one of the arms of Kannon Bosatsu. Guanyin Pusa is what we say that in Chinese. And from a Buddhist perspective, I understand what he's saying. Okay, I would say that Guadalupe is a manifestation of the one redeeming, transforming, saving love, which is Jesus. It's a manifestation of Jesus. Okay? Now we're getting into some really tricky theological areas here, which I kind of like.
But my wife has a story that's a little bit kind of like yours. And she wasn't particularly religious, but she became Buddhist through me. And she comes to the temple here. But about 13 years ago, she became very sick with this autoimmune disease called polymyositis, which it attacks the muscles, so she couldn't hardly walk, and sometimes she had trouble breathing. And we had moved from San Francisco to here, near Berkeley, but her doctor was still in San Francisco. And so one night, actually it was Thanksgiving night, her parents had come over for dinner, and then she wasn't feeling well, so we had to kind of rush them out and end the night early. And then she said that she had to go to the hospital because she was having a hard time breathing. And so then we jumped in the car and we had to drive to San Francisco. And there was a lot of traffic going onto the bridge. And so I took a chance and I took the commuter lane, which bypasses all the traffic, it goes on the side. I could have been stopped, by the highway patrol, but fortunately I wasn't. And we bypassed it, so I'm kind of speeding, and she's breathing hard. And we finally made it. But later she told me that when she was in the car, she didn't think she was going to make it all the way to the hospital. And we have a Buddha on this altar, the statue of a standing Buddha. And that Buddha is named Amida Buddha, which is the Buddha of wisdom and compassion. And actually we have a problem too, because that Buddha is not the historical Buddha who lived in India and who was the teacher who a lot of Buddhists have on their altar. But we have Amida Buddha, which is kind of a symbolic Buddha. And so some other Buddhists, sometimes they don't understand why we have that Buddha. Anyway, while my wife was in the car having a hard time breathing, and she thought she was going to die. And then, so she's thinking, oh, I hope I can make it out, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. And then in her mind, she remembered this Buddha, then this face of the Buddha. And it's very peaceful face, right? And she thought to herself, well, whether I live or die is not up to me. It's up to Amida. Okay? So I'm in the hands of Amida, like this was her thinking. And with that thought, she suddenly was able to relax. Like it's not my risk, it's not up to me. It's not there's nothing I can do. It's up to Amida. So she said in her mind she became very calm and her breathing kind of settled down, and then she made it to the hospital. So that was, I was reminded from your story of what my wife said. So something like in her mind kind of changed at that point, and she was able to become calm, and then eventually she became healthy. Not right away, it took a long time, but it's made a very strong impression in her mind, through this experience of seeing the Buddha and then feeling some connection and some effect. And from a teaching point of view, we don't encourage, sometimes people think of our kind of Buddhism like Christianity, where we have Amida Buddha and we talk about the Pure Land and it sounds like heaven, and people come here and it looks like we're praying, and I think maybe sometimes people are praying for Amida to help them, but that's all from the outside. And so the Buddhist teaching says, there's no God who's helping us, but everything's like more from the inside. And it's our understanding that needs to change. So from in here. So, but still, my wife has that kind of experience, right? And I'm not sure if there's a good way to explain it in terms of the way we're supposed to talk as Buddhists.
The more we do this, the more the technical stuff that we do at IBS will bear fruit.